packed stage today. We've got a very exciting AMA, we hope, for you. I did want to take just a second and kind of do some introductions. There's some people up here that I don't think have been up here before or might have only been up here once. Some of them will probably introduce themselves again as we go, but at least just to give a high level so that everybody knows who they're looking at. So Second Best Dad is one of our pixel artists. He's working with Cinnamon Bun and Atlas, who are also both pixel artists, to make all of our assets, essentially all of our graphic assets. Lux is a UI specialist. Pogo is our composer. I think you all know who he is. Literally Can't Even is the game experience director. Jack Sickles and Bone Pillar, I don't think either one have been up here before, but they work with SinStar in our lore department. So they are hard at work fleshing out some backstories and some fun stuff in terms of lore to give some of the history of Gaia. Obviously, we have Dreamer and Fox. I think we all know who both of them are. If you don't, you will shortly. So with that, we're actually going to go ahead and hand off to Fox.
Thank you, Bolin. Nice to be here. Start of a new week. And it's a big week. We have a lot of things that are coming. We've got some pretty exciting announcements slated for later in the week. And here in this AMA, we have our very extremely talented creative game development teams here. And yeah, there's just been a lot going on. I did have a few things that I wanted to kind of touch on first before we hop into all of the awesome things that they have in store for you. One of them is Perilous Journey has now set sail as of a few minutes ago, I believe. And, that is the first step into the Crystalvale expansion. So we're having our heroes go out and pave the way. It's very dangerous. Some of them will die, unfortunately, but the rewards that are in place for those are really awesome too. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. So that will sail until I think the 16th is when they'll be back, and we will see what the results are. In the meantime, we'll have a lot more information drop about Crystalvale timeline and how it's going to actually work, how the bridging will work, the tokenomics, and all that stuff will be released for this next week and also into next week as well. So stay tuned for that. Release schedule, I kind of wanted to talk about that for a second. We have a team now that's at a size where we have QA and really good alpha testing and FSDs and requirement stocks and all these things. So we're a lot more organized now in our stuff we're doing for the releases for the features. And at the same time, we're also staying very, very nimble for bug fixes and things. So what we want to do is sort of switch things up and say, we will now be able to release any of the bug fixes that are critical enough anytime during the week, rather than just kind of only on Wednesdays. So you should see the potential for little things that will get little patches here and there throughout the week. And at the same time, some of the bigger ones with some of the new features, we'll be planning on doing those every 2 weeks to allow time for the whole process of the smart contracts hand off to the front end and the art hand off to the front end, and then have them build it, and then have QA and alpha testing and all that as well. So a 2-week cadence for those newer content and newer features there, while at the same time having the bugs and things get fixed just ASAP as they're ready throughout the week. Sort of our new strategy there. And the last thing, snapshots. We just released that info about those new snapshots. There's some really exciting things in there. I'm going to be trying to get those airdropped out this evening to everyone. And there's also a Gen 0 hero raffle in there as well. So congrats to the future winners of those as well. And that's all from my side. Dreamer, you want to take it from here?
Sure. I'll just give a couple quick updates. We can hand it over to all these awesome people on the AMA. We've been progressing a lot with in-game bridging, a lot of focus to bring that enhanced utility in the awesome zone of the docks. So looking forward to that. It's progressing along a lot on the team, and from different areas have been focusing on that. We have a meeting this week, onboarding efforts as well. Been kind of working on that off and on and ramping that up, hopefully to bring that to a closure this week. So fingers crossed. And yeah, there was an announcement last week with all of those that participated in the review of the first proposed grant, the AMA that we did middle of the week with Fox. I think there's a lot of really helpful comments, and rather than unnecessarily rush a vote prior to having time to factor in those comments, we paused and Sunbury's working hard on that whole process to, I really think it was a great start, but to add on top of it, maybe more standardized features and the overall vetting process and increasing transparency. So there's just some quick updates on the growth side, but I will pause, hand it over to Bolon to get us going with our creative AMA.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I did have a quick point of clarification with Fox. With the bi-weekly release schedule that we're going to transition to, are we looking at starting that with a release on the 9th or on the 16th?
Yeah, so last week we had a big release with the Perilous Journey. We had a smaller one earlier today, actually, and also over the weekend. So we've already kind of been doing this where we'll have little bugs and things get patched over that. So we have some big announcements coming this week. We're not doing a new content one this week. That'll be next week with the return of the heroes from the Perilous Journey. Be some other things in there as well.
Perfect. Just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page there, so I do appreciate that. With that, I am actually going to hand it over to Cinnamon Bun because he has some fun things that he wants to share with us.
Hey, so we're sharing today what is the centerpiece of the Crystalvale map. This is a magical tree essentially in the middle of the valley because Crystalvale takes place in a kind of frozen valley, and it's very much inspired by things like Norse mythology, but we kind of wanted to give it a big a little bit of a twist. So it's not really just Norse mythology, but it's just a combination of a lot of different things. And we really wanted to do something that kind of mirrors Serendale in a way, how there's sort of just this giant mountain and castle in the middle of the map that sort of acts as a backdrop. So yeah, we kind of wanted to have something that was that kind of magical feeling of just something really epic, I guess, in the kind of in the middle of the map. But with that, I can also kind of jump to some of our lore folks and see if they want to add anything.
Yeah, I'd love to. That's that is pretty much our centerpiece for this place that all these heroes are going. And there's quite a bit of lore associated with that particular set piece, which is the snake in the big tree. They have names. There's a lot going on with them. It'd be hard to go into any details without giving stuff away. So we're not going to go into the actual story of them, but you will over time get to know more about the story there, because a lot of times you're going to be kind of drawn back to that particular story when you guys enter this land. There's going to be some quests associated with it. The town is built around it, so there's quite a few fun items there that we'll have plenty of time to get into as we roll out features and stuff. So more to come on that, but for now, just kind of, it's fun to show this because it has a lot to do with what we're doing with Crystalvale.
Very nice. And it looks like there was an interior that was shown as well in that post. Cinnamon, did you want to talk about that interior real quick?
Dwarf jewelers. that's what I'll say there. But yeah, no, that's actually the interior for the structure that you see on the mountainside that kind of has a door or an opening, you can go in it. And so yeah, there are dwarves in Crystalvale. There might also be dwarves in Serendale, by the way, but those dwarves are a little bit different. But the dwarves in Crystalvale, they work more with the denizens of Crystalvale. I don't want to go too deep into that because that might be stuff that you'll see later on in quest lines and such. But the dwarves in Crystalvale handle a lot of the mining and the various currencies.
Very nice. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and this came from a compilation of a couple questions that we've gotten, is actually also kind of for you, Cinnamon, but maybe some other people as well, is the inspiration for the Serendale map. Where did that inspiration come from? Is it based on some real geography? Is it all just what y'all came up with fresh out of your heads? How did you design the map?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One of the things I love about working on this game is just the epic scale that's required for it. So with all the land plots that we have, and as we want the map to sort of grow over time as well, but the map inevitably is going to be like very big, and so it's very much like designing a whole like world. So as you can tell with a lot of the land plots, if you click on them, you'll see like a region named for it. Like some of them are in like Fairling Forest or Riverhold or like Adeline Highlands. So a lot of these, so there's a lot of regions, right? And the inspiration for them kind of inevitably comes from a lot of different places because it's so big. So like some of them, some of them are references to things. I won't say what, but you could definitely look around and guess. But other ones are kind of trying to think about what kind of creatures, what kind of enemies and such, what kind of like I guess society is like here. Like what are the towns sort of around? Like the name of the main city is Adeline. That's kind of like the main kingdom, but then there are other kingdoms, but there's also towns in between those kingdoms. So it's like, what does society look like between those? What is trade like? Are they friendly with each other? Are there like bandits like in between these places? Like are there and also what are the various landmarks? So in each, the kind of goal is for each region to have at least one like unique landmark. So you can see in Illyria's Rest, there's this huge purple, I guess like wisteria tree. Sometimes I call it a willow tree, sometimes wisteria tree. I'm not really sure which one. But then in Adeline Highlands, there's like this huge like hollowed kind of oak tree. Of course, you'll see like that giant temple at the bottom. Well, that's actually a tomb. That's the Old King's Barrow. But a lot of these places, there's also a lot of lore being worked on for them, and we're kind of working on how they like tie into quests and such, as well as like traveling and what you will eventually be able to do with your heroes out on the map. Really excited for that area of the game in particular.
Awesome. I know, Atlas, you've been working on the map some as well. Did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I've actually been doing the NPCs for the interior, so not the exterior map. So,
where did you get the inspiration for those then?
Well, really just the lore department. They're doing such a good job with building a world behind the scenes and giving a lot of personality to all these locations and the NPCs, and so that's really where I'm getting all my inspiration from.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you meant to say landmarks, but yeah, because Atlas actually is the main artist who did a lot of the landmarks and the regions, and yeah, a lot of that just came from like trying to find like unique things to put there and have a sense of like, okay, this place actually is like pretty old. There's like past societies, like the Dorniel Abbey, for example, like this kind of ruined abbey, like that might be from a civilization that was like before the current people of Adeline, but let's say like after the Sundering and the Convergence.
Yeah, that's right. I did a few of the landmarks, including the crazy waterfall temple at the bottom there. But yeah, no, I'm just trying to keep up with Cinnamon Bun. Like all of his overworld assets are just insane. So just trying to really emulate his style, and I'm pretty proud of that temple at the bottom of the map there.
I do really like that temple. It's such a cool piece of art, and we definitely have a lot coming in the way of lore, which I know I'm very excited about, and I think many others are as well. And speaking of lore and creatures, let's turn over to Jax for a moment. What kind of creatures can the heroes who have now shipped out expect to possibly encounter on the way to Crystalvale?
Yes, so at the moment, everything is subject to change as we work out the details. There's a lot going on, so we want to make sure it's consistent and it flows well. But the oceans are vast, and they consist mainly of uncharted territory. Most of these bodies of water that your heroes are traversing right now to Crystalvale were created from the Sundering, and the Sundering was a result of the continent splitting into multiple pieces. So in a way, like the kingdoms are now going in blind, sailing across these oceans, and a lot of the information back then about what lurked in those waters have been long lost. But one of the most notable creatures that I'm sure all of you have seen is the notorious Kraken. The Krakens are legendary monsters from Nordic mythology, and similar to those, they prey upon unfortunate ships who dare to cross their paths in the ocean. But of course, there's more than just those. As Qui-Gon once said, there's always a bigger fish. Who knows what other Leviathans were forgotten about, and those that slept under the Sundering awoke them once more.
Awesome. That's really cool. There's definitely going to be some I would imagine some backstory there. The next thing I wanted to do is actually turn over to Pogo for a moment, everybody's favorite Brit, and ask him to kind of give us some insight into his experience with composing and making all of the music for DFK. It's one of the most complimented features in the game, especially by new players. They, load in and get greeted by Pogo's soothing tones. So I just wanted to give Pogo a minute to kind of give us some history and background there.
Yeah, great. Hi, guys. It's great to be back with you again on this AMA. So, yeah, I really appreciate all the love that the music always gets. It's a great honor to serve this team and bring you some melodies and some exciting tunes. So a bit of context into me, really. So I started kind of playing music at the age of 6, and I've been composing for, 15 years. Hard to quantify, really. Studied music at college, university, and as of October last year, I took the plunge into freelance composition. So I started writing music for video games and promotional videos and stuff. And that was a kind of a slow journey to eventually becoming a member of this team. And yeah, it's a great honor to be part of the team and writing music for the game, which reminds me really, some of you might be interested in a bit of my history or finding out about me outside of DFK. So today I'm deciding to officially dox myself. So my name is no longer Pogo, but my name is Sam Shamsley. I'm 23 from the UK, and I believe a tweet has been put out sharing some links about me, a portfolio, and I'm looking forward to kind of reinventing myself for this team as my own name rather than Pogo.
That's awesome. That tweet has been sent. It is also in the AMA voiceless chat. I'm probably still going to call you Pogo because that's how my brain works. But Sam, it's great to have you here with us. And I think that a lot of people are going to be very excited to go check out some of your other works outside of DFK. And I see that your new PFP is already live as well. That's awesome. Yeah. Super excited for that. So at this time, we are going to invite a couple people up to ask some questions in real time. As always, when you get up here, if you wouldn't mind just going on mute until we address you so that there's not 18 noises going on at once, I am going to invite a couple people up at a time so that we can keep things moving. And with that, Jared, you are live.
Hello. I just had a quick question about the grant proposals, and if we were accepted by the team, would it be possible to get help with our art from some of the team, or is that completely out of reach?
Our main concern right now is our main focus is, obviously the game itself. So, but
yes.
I'll take a stab at it. So there's kind of a couple different ways. I think some projects, the proposal involves like maybe a related game or service that uses part of like our token, DeFi Kingdom's tokens or assets, in which case, some of the plans had to work with the designers here to create like a zone or maybe an NPC to link to that potential project that the community would vote on. In that way, there could be some support, right? Anything that we use our resources to build outside of, like for another team's proposal, that's not currently in scope. We don't really have the capacity to do that. Potentially at one point in the future, that could be a focus, but it's definitely not something in the realm of possibility right now. So I'm not sure if you're asking about help from like in-game art that would...
No, you answered the question right at the end there. That was perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Jared. Seth W., what's going on?
Totally came up here for the same question, but thanks, guys, for all you do. Bullish.
Thank you, Seth. Faulty Poker.
Hey, thank you for having me on stage. I was just wondering if the new cosmetic or main class genetics being introduced to the hero population by the Crystalvale Gen Zeros will include new races such as dwarves.
Currently, we don't have new races, but that is something we've talked about and something we're like open to doing in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I had invited somebody else, but I guess they had their question answered already. All right. Well, unless anybody has anything they want to throw out here for us, we will go ahead and start wrapping up. Second best dad, did you want to add anything before we close it off?
Yeah, he said he messaged me that he said he had like a bit of a migraine, so but I wasn't sure if. But I'll just say for if you feel up for it, you could definitely speak second best up. But if not, I'll just say that he's like he's a newer artist on the team. We have been growing quite a bit. We've been adding, at least in my department, we've been adding, some more artists, and because we have a lot of cool features coming up, and it's been really exciting. Second Bessed is one of those new artists. He has been killing it with, I think it's safe to we've already kind of teased combat quite a bit in past AMA, so I think it's no spoiler or anything to say that he's working on combat primarily. We'll have hopefully more to say on a lot of these features, like either in social media posts or from future AMAs. So yeah, his work's awesome. Keep a lookout for it.
For sure. Lux, is your mic working? Nope, still can't hear you. Lux is also awesome and working on some really cool UI stuff that we will be seeing some hints of very soon. So just to
I'm sorry, I forgot. Lux also messaged me and said that she's having mic issues, so I'll fill in for her as well. But yeah, she is doing a lot of she's really taking the charge on the UI stuff, on the UI front, rather. And we want to have more sort of targeted posts about these. So that's why we didn't post anything today, but I really like the approach she's taking to the UIs. She's really it's kind of funny because when you're doing UIs for fantasy games, there's sort of this thing where you tend to make things more materialistic, in the sense that in sci-fi games, things are kind of like the UI is part of the screen itself, right? But for fantasy, the UI is often like an object, right? So like a bulletin board or a piece of paper or something like that. And Lux is really her main skill set is being able to render things really crazily good. She does figures really good. And so she's been adding portraits to a lot of our UIs, and the portraits just mesh super well, everything. And yeah, hopefully, I can't wait for you guys to see more of her work, honestly, because we just we love it.
For sure. Cinnamon, while you're here, actually, you have anything for yourself you want to add?
I think I'm good. I think we've pretty much gone over a lot of stuff. Again, we're working just on so many features that hopefully we'll be able to kind of show more on. So, but yeah, thank you though.
Awesome. Atlas, you got anything you want to tag in?
Yeah, not much. Just want to say, our team's expanding. We just have such incredible talent here on the design team, and there's just really so much in the pipeline that I can't wait for all of us to reveal all that. So, yep, that's it.
Very nice. Sam, anything you want to add?
No, just so happy to finally dox myself and continue writing music for this amazing team. Crystalvale is coming soon, and we've got some exciting tracks to show you, if I don't say so myself. I do say so myself, actually. So yeah, really excited to show you guys what we've got in store. And yeah, let's go, guys.
Awesome. Con?
Yeah, I don't have much. I'm glad the creative team got to show off some of their cool work for Crystalvale. I'm super, super excited for the launch. I'm very excited for Sam also. I hope you guys, go and give him a follow and check out his music. It's a really cool opportunity to see what he does outside of just DFK. So I've listened to some of it. I've known for a while, we've talked back and forth about making his identity public, and I've listened to a lot, and it's very, very cool. So hopefully you guys get a chance to check it out. And bullish.
Definitely show Sam some love, for sure. Jack Siggles?
Well, I pretty much typed in the chat, but I was saying, thank you for having me up here. It's been awesome to share a little bit of lore, even though there's a lot more where that came from. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to attend more future AMAs and talk to everybody. And if everybody has questions regarding story, lores, creatures, and etc., feel free to come on stage and ask me anything that comes to mind, and I'll answer it the best I can.
Sweet. Bone Pillar.
Hi, yeah. So I don't have a ton to say myself either, but my side of the lore department is maybe not the most glamorous. It's mostly editing and things like that for the most part. But I am really enjoying going through, the work Jax has been doing and trying to enhance that through my work there. So I'm excited to work on that more and keep working with Jax on his vision of the world here.
Very nice. The lore master himself, Sinstar.
Yeah, it's been real fun. Lots of stuff regarding quests and a lot of quest work that we've been working on. And we're excited to get those things pushed through the pipeline. So that's something that we're going to start delivering lore through for the most part, along with Easter eggs, all that kind of stuff. So that's all stuff that we'll just kind of let drop in updates. Hope you guys like them. There's a lot of work put into them and love, and we're excited to be writing, in DeFi Kingdom. So I'm happy to be here.
I know there's some really cool stuff brewing in the lore department, and I'm really excited for it. Dreamer, you got anything to close us out?
Yeah, I'll just say, I think I've reiterated it a couple times. Whenever we're talking with people new to DeFi Kingdoms, people that are very intimately familiar, the music, the art, the UX, the UI, so much of it is complemented on. And I think that really helps those that are working really hard. Oftentimes we only see, 5 or 10% of the full team on these AMAs or in person or at events. But like all the people we have on here and many that aren't here, they're the true builders, creative. And since there's focus of, the love that's poured into it as well, when you hear people in the planning meetings, it's much less transactional and much more truly creative. And it's a creative environment is one that's hard to cultivate, especially longer term, especially at the pace that we've been growing. And I just want to say I'm very impressed and inspired with the people on the team. And I think for those in the community that appreciate that, it's never a bad thing to express it. I think it really makes people feel good about the joy, the excitement, gratification that comes to all of us by participating and seeing these new releases and, zooming in and focusing on the pixels and paying attention to what people are saying and where things are progressing. So all very exciting. I would say some of what was talked about or shown today will be expressed or released in a more a different and kind of exciting way. We've had trailers in the past that have come out on YouTube. There may be one in the future that you'll look out for. We are I think Fox mentioned a couple things potentially being announced this week. So stay tuned, pay attention to socials and others. Really excited for this week and this month and the direction we're going with the awesome team we built.
For sure. Definitely some exciting content coming as well. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Frisky Fox. Final comments?
Dreamer kind of touched on it, but we do have a lot of really exciting things that are waiting to be announced. And to explain some of this, a lot of times we like to time our announcements with some of our partners that are out there. So we do have some that we've been kind of ready to announce for a while, and we've been kind of waiting for the opportune time. And that's getting really close now. So we're super excited about that. You should see some really good stuff this week. So yeah, that's about it. Everyone's working hard. We've got a lot of really cool things coming for Crystalvale that kind of more than we originally envisioned that we would do for it. It's probably in a scale of like difficulty and sort of like meat. There's like multiples more that we're like releasing with that than we had originally thought in terms of like the dev and the technical side of it. So I'm excited about it. It's a like really good direction for the project, and I'm excited to announce that soon. But other than that, we're just all hard at work. We've got like pets. We've got stuff happening for like LAN tournaments and coming on the pipeline there for like combat soon as well, or not like super soon, but like we're hard at work there. It's a very full-fledged thing that's being built there, so I'm excited about that as well. Yeah, just we're happy to be here, happy to be innovating in this space, and happy to be serving a community that's as awesome as this one is. Like every day, it's just amazing the amount of love we see from you guys, and we're pouring all of our love into this as well. So happy to be here. Thanks for coming, everyone.
For sure. As always, appreciate all of y'all taking the time to be here to talk to the community and answer some questions. As always, also appreciate everybody who takes the time to come and listen in. Y'all are awesome on both sides. Amazing team, amazing community, great things happening as always. So thank you much to everyone, and we will see you again next week for our next AMA with the mechanics department. So looking forward to that. And until then, take care and bullish.